You don't sail it, you own it. And right now, 7,600 people are living inside something you paid $2.1 billion to build. Eating in your restaurants, sleeping in your beds, losing money in your casino, and spending $1,200 each on top of their ticket price, without realizing the entire onboard economy was designed, down to the placement of every bar and every gift shop, to make that number as large as possible. That's the business nobody tells you about. The ticket is almost irrelevant. The real money is everything that happens after they board. The ship is 1,197 feet long, longer than the Empire State Building is tall. 18 decks, 42 restaurants, 7 pools, a Broadway theater, an ice rink, a go-kart track on the top deck, a casino, a hospital with 2 operating rooms, and a morgue, capacity 6. Nobody puts that in the brochure. It started with a number nobody believed. You were 37. Your family had been in the cruise business for 2 generations. Your grandfather ran ferry routes. Your father ran budget Caribbean cruises and sold the company in 2009 for enough money that you never had to work again. You went to work anyway. 8 years learning the economics from the inside, understanding that the real margins aren't on the water. They're on the behavior of people who've already paid and are now on a floating island with nowhere else to spend. You commissioned the ship at 37. The build takes 4 years in a shipyard in Turku, Finland, where they've been building the world's largest vessels for 4 decades with the quiet competence of people who've never needed to be impressive about something they're simply the best at. Your project director is a Finnish engineer named Mikael. He communicates almost entirely in numbers and tolerances. Over 4 years, he becomes one of the people you trust most in the world, because he has never once told you what you wanted to hear. The ship launches on a Thursday morning in March. It's raining. It's almost always raining in Turku. You stand on the dock and watch $2.1 billion slide into the water for the first time. The feeling isn't triumph. It's closer to vertigo. The scale of it doesn't compress into something your brain can hold. You keep looking at pieces of it: the bow, the top deck, the funnel. You can't see the whole thing from a single vantage point. That's how big it is. You can't see your own investment all at once. Mikael stands next to you and says the structural tolerances are within 0.3% of specification. You tell him that's incredible. He says it's acceptable. Here's what they don't tell you about owning the world's largest cruise ship. You are not in the cruise business. You are in the city management business. You just happen to move the city. Your ship has 2,200 crew members, 51 nationalities, a population larger than 40% of the world's recognized countries. It has its own hospital, its own jail with 4 cells, its own legal jurisdiction under maritime law, and a captain named Ingrid, a Norwegian woman who has been sailing since she was 19, who holds more practical authority over the people on your ship than most mayors hold over their cities. Ingrid runs a ship. You own the ship. The distinction sounds clean. It is not always clean. On day 14 of your inaugural voyage, a passenger has a cardiac event in the specialty restaurant on deck 12 at 9:47 p.m. The medical team responds in 4 minutes. Your ship's cardiologist performs an emergency procedure. The patient survives. You are in your suite on deck 18 when it happens. You learn about it in the morning briefing. This is correct procedure. You shouldn't be involved in individual medical emergencies on your own vessel. You know this. You still lie awake for an hour that night thinking about a man whose name you don't know, who almost died in a restaurant you designed, in a chair you selected, under lighting you approved, while you slept 40 feet above him. You add a second cardiologist to the medical staff for the second voyage. The money is real, and the money is complicated. The casino generates more revenue per square foot than most Las Vegas floors, but the real number lives in the private gaming room that opens at 11:05 p.m. every night to invitation-only guests. 12 tables, minimum buy-in $50,000. Your casino director, a man named Vincent, talent who ran private rooms in Monaco and Macau and dresses exclusively in navy blue as if he decided once what color represented competence, oversees this room personally on every sailing. That room generates 34% of your total casino revenue from 0.4% of your passengers. You've sat at the bar outside at once, 1 a.m., watching people spend in 4 hours what your first employees made in a year. The expression on their faces wasn't enjoyment. It looked like a conversation they were having with themselves that required money to have. Vincent appeared next to you and said the room was running 12% above quarterly projection. You said that's good. He said he knew. He went back inside. Year 2, a documentary crew filmed your exhaust plume from a chartered aircraft. The footage circulates. Your ship burns 80,000 gallons of fuel per day at cruising speed. That's not a typo. 80,000 gallons. The emissions profile of one round-trip voyage equals the annual carbon output of a small town. But here's the thing. You commissioned a liquefied natural gas conversion study 6 months before the documentary aired, because Miguel told you in a quarterly call that the regulatory trajectory made LNG conversion not a question of whether, but when. And doing it proactively would cost $340 million, and doing it reactively would cost $340 million plus reputation damage. You announced a conversion the week the documentary airs. The timing looks strategic because it is strategic. Miguel is always right. Year 4, 3:17 a.m., North Atlantic. A rogue wave. Not a movie wave, a real one. The kind oceanographers describe with calm technical language and everyone else would call impossible. The impact breaks 4 windows on deck 4. Floods 2 staterooms, injures 7 passengers, and wakes 4,000 people simultaneously. Ingrid handles it. By 4 a.m., the ship is stable. Injuries treated, affected passengers relocated. Her ship-wide announcement is made in the specific calm register of someone who needs everyone to understand that the situation is resolved and that the resolution was never in doubt. You're on a call with her at 4:15 a.m. She gives you the status report in 4 sentences. You ask if she needs anything from you. She says no. You believe her completely. The compensation packages go out to affected passengers the next morning. $890,000 total. A personal note from you to every impacted stateroom. The maritime press calls it the industry standard for crisis response. You file the article, not on the wall, in a folder. The difference matters. You are 45 years old now. The ship has sailed 340,000 nautical miles, carried 1.2 million passengers, hosted 23 weddings, 4 funerals at sea, 7 births, and 1 passenger who proposed on a Tuesday afternoon in the middle of the Pacific to someone who said no and whom your crew treated with the professional kindness of people who have seen everything and judge nothing. Right now, the ship is 200 miles off Bermuda. 7,600 people are eating, sleeping, spending money at margins you designed before you designed the rooms. Your casino director is watching $50,000 chips change hands in a room with no cameras. Your captain is on the bridge. Your cardiologist, the second one you hired after the man on deck 12, is 3 decks below the waterline reading a book in the medical bay. You are in your Miami office. The ship tracker on your wall shows a blue dot moving slowly across dark water. 1,197 feet of steel and 51 nationalities and 42 restaurants. And a morgue with a capacity of 6 that is today, right now, blessedly empty. You built that. You designed the economics of that before you designed the rooms. The blue dot keeps moving.